What is good, YouTube? What is good? Welcome in to another show once again, LastWord Productions, man. Your host, Mars Wilson, as you all know, always getting the last word. So we here yet again another night. With my co-host here. Got Mike in the building. Mike, say what's up to the people, bro.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all feeling?
All right, got the same thing with Breeze. Breeze, how you feeling, bro?
Grand Rising, everybody. Grand Rising.
You're ugly as hell.
Hey, listen, man. So you know what it is. We know what week it is. You know, a couple days away removed from the biggest game of the year for the NFL. And the Super Bowl is here. We will be discussing that thoroughly this show. But before we do that, if you're not doing so already, y'all go ahead, like, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hit that bell notification to be notified whenever we go live. As well as the fact you can follow me on all my other social platforms, such as Facebook, which we are live on right now as well, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm everywhere. Just look at the handle LastWord Productions. So before we do that deep dive into the Super Bowl talks, though, into the game itself, I want to speak on the NBA and the NBA trade deadline because it did end today. So I want to get y'all thoughts on who you thought won the trade deadline and who was the losers at the deadline. So Breeze, I'm gonna start with you first. Who you think won? Who you think lost?
Overall, really, I gotta say, number one, I'm gonna say, my Celtics. We needed an interior threat. We were already shopping Anthony Simons. You get me? I wanted Ivica Zubac because he's a rebounder and an interior threat. But then when I just noticed that we traded for Nikola Vucevic, I've been complaining about Neemias Queta not being consistent on the board. This dude grabs 19 rebounds last night, and we blow out the Rockets with no Jaylen Brown and no Peyton Pritchard. So, you know, I was pretty happy about that because we need that low post scoring threat and somebody who can pass that ball because Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, they all scoring from outside, either mid-range or from the three. So we need an interior threat. I'm really fond of that trade that we did. And the losers of the trade deadline, I'm gonna say the Warriors, man. I don't know what they're thinking, adding Kristaps Porzingis with Al Horford that they already have on the roster, both Celtic champions, by the way. Shout out to them boys. But I don't know what he thought about adding them to the roster. Kristaps Porzingis at this point, he's fragile, man. I know I joke about Anthony Richardson being fragile, but Porzingis is 1 minute it's an upper respiratory infection, 1 minute it's a knee, it's a foot, it's an ankle, it's a toe. And this is somebody who, at his best and healthy and playing, arguably he is elite. I remember he was the first guy he was the first unicorn guy other than Kevin Durant. But that Wembanyama hype that they given, Kristaps Porzingis was that guy. And, you know, the injuries just started piling up on him, and he wasn't the same. And right now, the Warriors were supposedly shopping Draymond Green. They didn't trade Draymond Green. Jimmy Butler went out. You had a player in Jonathan Kuminga that can do Jimmy Butler things. You trade him, and you trade Buddy Hield for Kristaps Porzingis, who's probably going to play out of the next 41 games, probably 21, 22 because of injuries.
That was a trade for the Hawks.
Say it again.
That was actually a good trade for the Hawks.
Yeah, that was a great trade for them. Showed that they they're really centered around Jalen Johnson. But I think the Warriors, honestly, I think in the offseason, it's time to start questioning: should we do Steph a service and send them somewhere and get back as much as we can? Because there's no future for Golden State right now. Steph Curry can go out there and average 45. It's not going to do anything with that roster. So I think the Celtics won the deadline because they got the guy that they were looking for, and the Warriors lost because not only did they lose Jimmy Butler, they lost the next thing that they had next to Jimmy Butler, and they bought an injured piece in. So I'm
Okay.
gonna go Warriors and Celtics.
Okay. What you got, Mike?
Winners, I say Cleveland, just for all the kind of the reasons Breeze gave last night as far as how Harden and Donovan could play off each other. With him being able to play, make Donovan can just go back to gunning, which is honestly beneficial for Cleveland right now, considering they got rid of like a DeAndre Hunter and stuff like that. So, and to help Jared Allen get back to form of being a live threat. So I would say they're the winners. They would be the winners to me. Uh, DG, nothing wrong with DG, all-star caliber guard. It just wasn't going to work. 6'2" guard and a 6'3", 6'4" guard as a backcourt just wasn't going to work. So I like them as the winners. Losers, honestly, I got two losers for real. I got Memphis, 'cause I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't even think they know what they're doing. You trade Jaren Jackson when all the last year and a half, all we've been hearing about is how they need to get rid of Ja, and you don't trade Ja. People calling you about him from all the reports that I read leading up to the pod tonight. Hella phone calls, serious offers were made. Y'all didn't entertain it, but then they turn around and make it seem like they're gonna try to make a move this offseason. Why not get it done now? Like his value's not gonna change. And you run the risk of him getting hurt again. So if he gets hurt again and you go into the
Yeah.
offseason trying to trade him, now you've devalued him. And you could have maxed him out right now and got something for him.
Yep.
The other loser I got is the Bucks because I don't know what the fuck they doing either. Like Giannis don't want to be there. He made it clear. You're holding on to him for what? And now he got this calf. This is the fourth calf injury he done had in the last year and a half. So let's just say out of the four, one or two of those have been actual real calf injuries. We all know what the calf injuries lead to. So if it's not fake news, which I think it is, I think he just don't want to be bothered with the ass no more. If it is realistic, now he's also going to be traded as quote unquote damaged goods, even though he's still a top 5 player in the league. Because now I know this man at any point in time his Achilles could go or something could happen to him, and I didn't get you all these assets, and I don't even got the piece I traded you for. So it's like I think them two teams don't have any direction whatsoever. They just doing shit. Like it was a lot of trades that was like that today and yesterday. The Bulls too, just doing shit. Like it's so much of that going on. I don't know. All these second round picks they got moved. I ain't never seen so many second round picks traded in my
Yeah.
life.
Facts.
In my life. So
Mm.
I think them teams for sure the losers for sure.
Okay. For me, man, the biggest winner for me, I got two winners. I think the Pacers won at the deadline, acquiring Ivan Zubac. You know, a guy who is one of the more underrated and underappreciated players in this league, as Breeze has alluded to. And he was a much needed position and player that they needed. They needed rebounding. They needed some kind of defensive anchor as a rim protector. And they also needed a consistent threat in the middle. And he becomes that instantly for them. And this is a move that pretty much sets in stone what this team can be the next 2 years, because he's under contract for the next 2 years. He is a relatively cheap deal. It's a team friendly deal. And he's going to play alongside Tyrese Halliburton, one of the better playmaking guards in the league. So his production should be the same, if not better, because he's going to come in and potentially be probably the second best scoring option. I mean, just from the play style and what the Pacers want to do as far as their, interior offensive play style go. And another winner for me is the Clippers, honestly. And the reason I got the Clippers because they finally realized it's time to just move off of what we've been trying to do the last 6-7 years. It's just not going to work. They're finally putting together some picks. They're finally shipping off guys who were not going to help contribute to a team winning something of significance within the next year or two. So they're actually doing something, in my personal opinion, that's better for them within the next 3 to 6 years. And for me, I just think you can't keep going down the same path thinking it's gonna work. And I'm glad to see they finally realized it. And for me, the biggest loser, I gotta say the Miami Heat, man. I mean, it's almost every season you see the Heat in reports and talks about them going after some superstar name. It was Kevin Durant at one point. It was Luca at one point. It was Ja at one point. They when West
Bradley Beal, all of them.
his powers, it was Westbrook. And now it was Giannis this offseason. Well, not offseason, excuse me, this trade deadline. And nothing happens. You make no significant moves at that. So at some point, man, the ownership, Pat Riley, these guys, at some point, people got to realize they're not going to make any significant championship contending moves until Pat Riley's gone. And I get it. It's tough because Pat Riley's been a pillar of that team and that organization for years. But the game has gone past them clearly. It's past them. And they have to come to that realization that they can't do anything of significance until that front office is pretty much clean house. And it's unfortunate because I think the Heat are have been a well-oiled machine for some years, but now it just seems like they're operating off of reputation instead of just what is actually working and successful. So for me, the biggest losers are the Miami Heat. But anything else? Yeah, you want to add, Breeze, before we move on?
No, sir.
All right. So let's speak on. I want to speak on Cam Thomas being released by the Brooklyn Nets, and I want you. What do you feel as if is a good destination or landing spot for him?
I would really like him to go somewhere like Boston, not only because it's my team, but Cam Thomas at this point, he really isn't a needle mover. Cam Thomas isn't that guy where, you're going to invest all in and just say, you know what, Cam Thomas is the missing piece to our championship run. No, Cam Thomas is just a volume scorer at this point. Well, he has been for his whole career. He's an undersized guard. I think he's maybe 5'10", 5'11".
Nah, Cam ain't that damn little.
I think he is.
Nah,
I think so.
think
Hey
Cam
Siri,
Thomas
how
that
tall
big,
is he?
bro.
I think he's 6'1", 6 feet.
Let me see.
Cameron Thomas is 6 feet 3 inches.
He's 6'3"?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Y'all got that man like he AI height or some shit.
I mean, bro, he looked like it out there, bro.
That nigga Cam ain't no little.
Nah, he just slim, but he not short though.
He looked tiny at the. Well, I take that back, guys. My bad. Well, he still is a very stature-wise. He's a very small guard. He's not defending anybody. He's not that good. He's rarely a playmaker. He's a shot chucker out there. So I think if you're a team, you need a role for him like you would give a J.R. Smith or Jamal Crawford, or
There's a lot of teams that could use that though.
Say it again.
There's a lot of teams that need that. Just come out the bench and go.
It's teams that need that, but what teams need that to actually go to the promised land?
I mean, one team that comes to mind for me personally, I think the Timberwolves could really use Cam Thomas. And the reason
they got Bones Highland, they had
Rob Dillingham, and then you trade him. I don't understand that either.
Like, they got too many offensive. Didn't they just come up off of Mike Conley too?
That's the playmaker, but you got rid of Rob Dillingham, who you just took in the lottery last year.
Though they don't outside of Nas Reed. I mean, they don't really got no instant offense off the bench. I mean,
Rob Dillingham would have been there, but they ain't playing.
But that's what I'm saying. He's not there. So
you traded him. So it's like idiot, bro.
You need something that's going to kind of give you another shot creator off of the bench, because I mean, outside of Nas Reed, I mean, Dante DiVincenzo is cool, but he at this point he's a guy that's pretty much just a setup shooter. Like, he's not about to go out there and create offense for himself to get himself going. Cam Thomas can at least do that. And for me, I just think Anthony Edwards needs someone else who's going to be able to create shots consistently next to him in spurts, because I feel as if he takes too much of that offensive load some night. So they need someone else who's going to get it going, and that whether it's down stretch of games, whether it's early in the games, if he not getting it going, something. But
honestly, if he would have got James Harden, that'd have been smooth too.
I mean, yeah, Anthony Edwards, that's just him, though, bro. He's a rhythm scorer. Like, Anthony Edwards is never going to go out there and be the most – he's not going to be a Kevin Durant kind of guy, a 50, 40, 90 kind of guy. He's going to give you nights where he shoots.
I don't disagree, but for me, a rhythm scorer is someone more so along the lines of like, I want to say like how Danny Green was in a good portion of his career. I want to say,
excuse me,
Danny Green was a rhythm scorer. The shot's not falling if you ain't seen that shit go in.
Bro, he's a volume shooter, bro. Rhythm
Nah,
scorer, bro.
He's not a volume shooter, bro. He didn't take that many shots to be considered a volume
He
shooter.
was a 3-point specialist, bro.
No. What I'm saying is, when I think of a rhythm scorer, I think of someone who needs to see the ball go through the net in order to continuously put up buckets or to get buckets.
Kawhi, James
I don't think.
Harden.
No, I don't think. I don't. James Harden, yes, but Kawhi, nah. I think Kawhi is more of a pick a spot and get there type of
Yeah,
player.
he gonna get to the elbows
That's
off the mid range and
to me.
shoot that straight line.
Kawhi, that's what I see. Anthony Edwards, what I see with Ant, he plays freelance basketball, and I think that could be a double-edged sword for him because he's not a guy trying to get to a certain spot on the court to create a certain look. He's a guy that's going to play and take whatever he gets off the defense. Like for another example of to me, a spot guy is SGA. He a guy who picks the spots and he gets to the spots, regardless of what the defense presenting to him. And sometimes you need that. And I think Cam Thomas can come in and not be a spot picker, but he's someone that can help create offense that doesn't need to be generated from a playmaker. And they need that, in my personal opinion. They don't have that outside of Anthony, excuse me, Anthony Edwards and Naz Reid. Everyone else has to play off their energy or their flow. And you need more perimeter playmaking in terms of shot creation. You just need it.
That's why they needed a facilitator, bro. That's why James
No,
Harden
that's what
would
I'm
have been
saying.
great for them. I think Cam Thomas, bro, he does his play style in this A and age, bro. It's not winning basketball, bro. Dribble, step back, mid range,
Yeah, but you
25 shots
also
a game.
I look at him the
But
same way I look at
he can
some of
still
them
give
guys.
15, 18 points a game. They need that off the bench. They need
But
that. They
you
don't
can
have
say they need that off the bench, bro. But that's he was doing that in Brooklyn because they were trying to lose. Brooklyn isn't trying to win anything.
So that's what I'm saying. I put him in the same box I put them guys in last night when I was saying, is your player development department doing their job?
And that's
Bro,
what
Brooklyn's player development department is not
I'm
doing shit for anybody.
Cam Thomas has had his go around the league, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, look where you end up. You end up in one of the worst teams in the league doing what? Trying to lose, like you said. So me playing like this ain't hurting. Because even if we win a game here and there, I'm going off of 50 balls. Most of the time we gonna lose. So I'm getting my shit off. In my head, I'm getting my shit off. I don't care. Like it ain't affecting me none. So it's like,
What Russ told T, that's the problem. You don't
no,
care.
and I agree. I don't disagree, but I'm just saying, like, yo, that's where your player development staff got to come in. What are you forcing him to do? What are you making him work on? What's the
Bro,
plan here? There
exactly.
is none.
just to be a microwave, bro. Like I said, bro, if he can do what Anthony Simon was doing in Boston, just go out there and just chuck up shots. But you got to be consistent, bro. You got to at least be 48,
JR was that for
49%.
sure. JR towards the back end at least got more consistent. Like he was streaky at first, he got more consistent with it down the stretch of his career for sure.
I mean, that will happen when you got Braun to pass you the ball.
I
I
think, but
mean,
the thing is, though, I think it ties into him being in a better situation. Situations matter just as much as a player, man. Like,
yeah.
yeah, we're talking about Brooklyn, bro. I mean, we just
This was
seen
the last time they
these
produced
guys
anything.
go to Brooklyn and pretty much careers die out over there. So I
And
mean,
they don't have no picks, remember, because they gave them all to Boston for that terrible ass reiterated over the hill big three. So them niggas ain't even been able to profit from being trash. They just trash.
yeah. So it's like,
Appreciate y'all, Brooklyn.
man, it's like at the end of the day, man. I think Cam Thomas can come in at the bare minimum be a microwave kind of player. I think he could be that for his franchise, and I think the Timberwolves need that. Honestly, I think Houston really needs that. If I'm being honest, I mean, but at the end of the day, man, we're gonna see. He got bought out. He can go pretty much anywhere he wants to go as long as the team is interested. So we'll see. But for me, I think the best bet for him would be the Timberwolves. If he's trying to go play with a team where he could get looks, consistently have the ball in his hand, coming off a bench and playing kind of the alpha on their bench, he can be that for sure. So what you think, though, Mike? What you think would be a good fit for him?
I think Timberwolves, like you said, I also think a team like that might just not be in it for sure, but to kind of give him some structure. I think maybe Indiana could help him with that. Rick Carlisle is a good coach. He's done a solid job of evolving with the times. Um, Honestly, shit, just as on some offensive shit, the Lakers need it. Shit, they ain't got shit coming out the bench for real.
Bro, they
Except
need
Lewis.
defense.
How
Yeah,
about
but
they need
ain't no defenders getting
them?
traded. Ain't no
Them getting
defenders.
Luke Kennard was actually a good
No,
move.
I
They
like
don't
Luke
move the needle.
Kennard, but
They
for
don't,
me,
they
like
don't move the needle.
niggas say they need defense, but ain't nobody trading the elite defenders out here. That shit's not happening. So it's
You
not
don't
gonna.
even need elite, bro. You just need
You
some
do. You
help
got
over
you.
there.
The problem is that your defenders can't hit the side of a fucking barn house. Like you got niggas that can defend like a Vando. He can't shoot for shit ever.
Okay, that's one.
That's
DeAndre
yeah, but
Ayton,
that's one of your best. DeAndre Ayton, sorry as hell.
cone. Luka Doncic, cone.
Hey,
LeBron James at
he's
this
been a
point in his
cone,
career, a
but he's
cone.
been a cone. The whole point of getting
Austin
Ayton was
Reeves,
the whole
cone.
point of getting no. Austin Reeves is not a cone. He
Bro, Austin
gives
Reeves is
effort.
a cone, bro.
He
Austin's not a cone.
gives effort, but he's
He
not a
definitely gives effort. He's not an
gives
elite or
effort, but
like
he's not.
Austin
great
Reeves
defender,
is
but
a
he definitely
cone,
gives
bro.
effort. No,
Okay, he may
he's
he may not
consistent.
be
He's
He's
the
what
only
Steph
nigga
Curry
on
was.
that team
He's what
outside
Steph
of Rudy and Vando that give consistent effort
he
the
may
most.
not be a truck stop cone, but he's a
He's
traffic
not a
cone.
cone, bro.
But he's
He's
a
not a
cone.
cone. He's not a
The
cone.
only person that you got in that starting lineup that actually has defensive effort is Marcus Smart, bro. That's it. And Marcus Smart at this point in his career is just that, just a
But that's
scrap.
what I'm saying. So it wasn't nobody to go get that was gonna play defense at this deadline. Like they weren't
You,
no teams coming off defenders.
bro, you could have went and got Kaminga. Kaminga is a very
I'm
good
say
3-and-D
they
player.
Warriors
could
weren't
have
trading
made,
that
they could
nigga,
have made
and
more.
then the
They could
salaries got
have
to
made more
match too. You can't
Holiday
afford that.
He's a very good damn
Yeah,
3-and-D
but you
defender,
can't
bro.
afford it though. You
for
got
who
to
Drew.
think they gave a nigga $100 million. The Lakers can't afford that shit.
They gave him a 2-year deal, bro. I think it was like 25, something like that.
Was it a 25 purse extension?
Yeah,
Who?
Kaminga, yeah, it was, bro. It was a little cheap deal,
Oh,
like a year, nigga. It was like a,
And they did him so dirty. I ain't gonna lie, bro. We gotta investigate Steve Kerr when this shit all said and
bro.
done.
He does that, bro.
hey,
We
That's
that's
gotta
him.
invest.
I've
We
been
gotta investigate that nigga when this shit
I've
said
been
and
telling
done,
people
bro.
Steve Kerr is the most overrated coach in NBA history.
That
Like
shit, like that shit, sad,
people
bro.
people believe Steve Kerr
They
was
purposely
because he
brought him.
dropped a
So
great
he
franchise.
could have went to the Kings, bro. They offered him. They gave him an offer sheet. You purposely brought him back to continue to fuck with his career. Like I just think that's the most ridiculous. That's coaching malpractice, bro. That shit
Bro,
is
let me
sick as
give
hell.
y'all an example. Y'all remember
He,
the
that's
7
not
seconds or less Suns?
that's not the first time.
Yeah, that dumb shit. Yeah,
Steve Kerr, the one that said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get Sean Marion out here and let's bring in Ancient Shaq to try and run a 7 second or less offense, running up and down the floor with Shaq weighing 380 pounds. And it didn't work. Meanwhile, Sean Marion went on to win the ring. He
yeah.
fucked the whole team up.
I
Game.
just he came into a ready-made situation and took over and did what he's supposed to do. Congratulations, we get it. But nah, he bro got a. I don't get it either. Like y'all brought him back to continue to fuck with his career. I think that's sick as hell. He done wasted. Jonathan Kuminga was a lottery pick. He done wasted the first 4, 5, 6 years of his career at this point doing nothing. Not because of him. It's not even his fault. It's
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean it's a it's unfortunate for sure.
Mike
You
need to
took other
punch that
niggas.
nigga again.
You had no problem playing Moses Moody if he asked. You had no problem playing Jordan Poole's terrible ass. But you tell him you couldn't find minutes for Kuminga. Like get the fuck out of here, Steve. Nah, bro.
I'm telling you, Mike need to punch that nigga again.
Right in the forehead, bro.
Crazy. But let's let's move off into Super Bowl talks, man. We know what we here for. We're gonna talk about the big game, you know. First things first, I want to speak on the matchups and the edges y'all believe each team will have before we give predictions. So we start with the coaches. You got to start with the coaches. To me, coaches is going to be the difference in this game. Well, usually, I should say they are the differences in the game because we see bad decisions always pretty much make up who wins or loses the Super Bowl. So, with that being said, we have a rematch between the Seahawks and the Patriots. This time around, we got Mike Vrabel and we have Mike McDonald for the Seahawks. Who y'all believe had the edge at coaching? I'm gonna start with you, Mike. Who you think got it?
I'm gonna give it to Verbal just because he's been in these playoff runs before. Like he had Tennessee in prime position to beat Pat at one point in time. They just couldn't get shit from the quarterback play. I think his experience in these games, also having played in a lot of these games himself as a player, also gives him an edge because he's seen this from every angle. He's seen it from their angle. He's also seen it now as a coach in his own right, doing things the way he does it, and then still having Josh McDaniels, who was around when he played some, and now that he's coaching, having him there. So I think it gives him the edge overall.
Okay, what you got, Breeze?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Mike Vrabel. Just for the simple fact that right now he's winning very complicated football games with Drake May playing some terrible football. And even with Drake May playing terrible football, he's not putting him in spots where he has to have his confidence unravel. Like we've seen Drake May fumble and throw picks and everything, but Vrabel is still scheming up and setting up offenses and plays and structure to where Drake May can, just remain calm. I know we talk about Sam Darnold sees ghosts from time to time, but right now that defense is carrying the shit out of him. He had a damn good game against the Rams, but that defense is carrying the shit out of him because we seen that game where he threw 98 yards or something like that.
What, against the Niners?
Yeah, he threw 98, almost 100 yards, and they won.
He threw 120 something, but yeah.
My bad, I cut that shit off after. My bad, Mike. But we
It was bad.
We seen him have those games, and the defense bailed him out. He didn't have to do too much. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to play on every weakness that Sam Darnold has. They're going to disguise. They're going to blitz. They're going to put pressure on them. And once again, in big moments, we've seen Sam Darnold choke. We've seen him fold, but this is the biggest moment. He's never been in this moment before. If this was his second or third time in the Super Bowl, then I can say, okay, I'm confident in Sam Darnold. But I've seen him choke in regular season games. He got over it. I've seen him choke in the playoffs. He got over the hump. Now this is a new monster. I think Mike Vrabel just, being a guy that worked under Bill Belichick, worked with Tom Brady, had to learn how to actually dissect quarterbacks and work with a staff on how to build the prototype quarterback to win in the NFL. I think he's going to do a very good job to attack the weakness of Sam Darnold. So I'm going to say Mike Vrabel for those reasons.
Okay. So for me personally, I'm going to go with Vrabel, but I'm going with Vrabel because I think the coaching staff for the Patriots are also better. I think Josh McDaniels has proven he's one of the better, if not one of the best OCs we've ever seen. And on top of the fact, he's like how Michael just alluded to it, Vrabel. McDaniels has been in these situations multiple times. He's an NFL champion, OC coordinator, you feel me, for multiple teams with multiple seasons with the Patriots. So this is a guy who's been here before. He knows what it takes. He knows the calls to make in critical moments. So you don't have the what else surrounded around the staff. So I'm going to go with Vrabel because of that. And because I just think, McDonald is a great coach. I think he's proven to be one of the better young defensive minds in the game today. But we have to see how he comes out here and he calls this game because, yes, you have one of the better defenses in the league, but this is also a defense that has shown vulnerability in certain aspects of the game, such as tight ends being able to get off over them, whether it's the quarterback running and extending plays and first downs. So they have some questions to answer. And, those are two areas I think the Patriots can really capitalize on because Drake May he's utilized for all the bad he's done this playoff run. He has utilized his legs a lot to extend drives. And Hunter Henry, I know he had less than 13 yards the last two games, but a lot of that to me is because the quarterback play just wasn't good. I think Hunter Henry is going to play a pretty big role in what they need to do in order to win. So I'm going to get an edge from Vrabel, though. But the next aspect I want to speak on the quarterback position now. And this is an interesting one because we have two guys who are both in their first Super Bowls. One guy's a veteran who's been pretty much a journeyman at this point who's revitalized his career. And we have another guy as a second-year phenom who many people believe is one of the better quarterbacks in the league already. So I'm going to start with you, Breeze. Who you think has the edge at the quarterback position?
I'm gonna go Drake May. Strictly because of the mobility. I think arm strength. I think both have rocket arms. They can both sling it. Arm talent as a whole, I'm gonna go a little towards Drake May, but I think the arm strength is pretty much similar. But the thing that sets them apart for me is the mobility. Sam Darnold can run, but Sam Darnold is very hesitant to run. We've seen games where Drake May has, had terrible passing games, but he's broken off like maybe 8 rushes for 60 yards. Like he's not afraid to actually get out the pocket and run. A lot of time when the pocket collapses on Sam will either just take the sack or run backwards trying to extend the play and make a bad play. So I'm gonna go with Drake May, and also the staff around him. They've done a better job of developing the raw talent that he had coming out of UNC versus this first year for Sam Darnold. He's been through a gauntlet of OCs and coaches and everything. So I think this being his first year in that Seattle system, I wouldn't chalk up much of his development to them specifically. Um, I wouldn't necessarily chalk it up to the Vikings that much either. I would just say him being in many different situations, he learned a lot through experience. But I think the Patriots having that system that believed in Drake May and building off his strong suits and his raw talent, I think they did a better job in their system with their guy versus what Seattle. I think Seattle just got a finished product at this point. They didn't get a piece that they had to develop. So I'm going to go Drake May because the mobility sets him apart for me, honestly. Throwing power and all that, I say it's the same. Arm talent, I go a little more towards Drake May. But yeah, I'm going to go with Drake May.
All right, Mike, what you got?
I'm going with Sam. Strictly based off what we've seen these playoffs alone. We just got to talking about how Drake May has been pretty much ass in all three playoff games. So, granted, Sam Darnold didn't have to do a lot the first two games. It wasn't because he was making mistakes. It was because they were dominating in other ways. Like, they didn't play the round one. Second round, they played us, whooped our ass. He didn't have to do much. Like, we fell apart. So he didn't have to do much. And then against the Rams, he was going throw for throw with Matt Stafford. Like, it wasn't like he was backing the fuck down. He was going throw for throw. And he came out on top of that in that matchup. He made the throws on that last drive, especially when they got the ball with like 4 minutes left, I think, to ice that game and close them out for sure. So I'm gonna say Sam.
Okay. For me, personally speaking, I think Sam Darnold owes a lot of credit to Kevin O'Connell, but hey, that's me. But I think Sam Darnold has the edge because a lot for what Breeze said, man. I mean, he's seeing a lot of things. He knows a lot of things at this point. I believe this is year 7, year 8.
8. Yeah.
He's a guy who pretty much has seen pretty much every defensive coverage that you could throw at him, and he he knows. I think he knows in the back of his mind, like when you play with a chip, it's a different kind of mentality for you because he's a guy who was pretty much written off by the league. He's a guy who's pretty much written off by fans, and I think it may work against him as well, but he's a guy that's trying to prove that he belongs here in these moments for these games. I think he still believes he's still trying to prove that because let's not forget the Vikings moved off of him. They could have re-signed him despite the fact that they, had JJ McCarthy on the roster. I mean, Sam Darnold won you 14 games, but it didn't matter for them. They wanted to see what they had in McCarthy. They wanted to develop him instead of giving an extension to Sam Darnold. So I think that's something he took. I wouldn't say personal, but it is something he took to granted for into consideration because this is a guy who's played well that in that system and they gave up on him essentially for someone else. I think he's here to prove something. I think he will try to prove something. And as far as Drake May go, I think Drake May is a better overall talent, but I think it's close between him and Sam Darnold. But I just have to see it from Drake May, man. I haven't seen it all playoffs. Outside of the second half against the Chargers, where he played a lot better than what he has shown throughout these playoffs, he hasn't really done anything to convince me that he's going to come in this game against another top-level defense and play just that much better. I just don't see it. I mean, yeah, the weather shouldn't be a problem this time around. So hopefully you see a little bit better play from him. But I just don't see him going out there throwing for 275 plus, 2+ touchdowns and balling out. I mean, I think he'll play a decent game, but I don't think he'll play lights out or better than Sam Darnold. So I'm going to go with Sam Darnold for that.
Hey, but shout out to the Patriots on this run, though, man. They ran a damn gauntlet, bro.
Yeah, they did.
And defensive gauntlet, the offenses they faced were fucking horrible.
I mean, true, but hey, Drake May ain't playing against defense, bro. He playing against he ain't playing against the offense, bro. He playing against the defense.
Nah, but his defense is solid enough to beat up on these sorry ass offenses they face too.
I mean, true, bro. But we talking about the Texans was, bro. They was historic talk when it comes to the Texans, bro. The
Yeah, on
Chargers, I
defense.
didn't believe in the Chargers like that anyway, so I'm not even
I
gonna.
mean, you lose 2 tackles and 3 linemen and shit.
No,
You
I'm talking
can't
about their
do it.
defense. I didn't. I think their defense was overhyped. Honestly, it was solid, but it
I
wasn't.
just,
It
nah,
was.
I think their defense was
Nah, they
fine.
did.
Their defense was like that. I just don't
All
think
couldn't
you
keep
had
up.
enough. Yeah,
Nah,
you
bro. The
couldn't.
way they was talking, bro. Oh, this is a top. This, and nah. I think their
I
defense
mean,
was
you gotta think
pretty
though.
good.
You
The
spend
top defense in the league. Yeah.
you
I
spend
think they were
70%
pretty good.
of the
That's
game
why I
on the
said I think they were
field supposed to
overrated, bro.
cook.
They were pretty good, but I don't think they were. They should never
I
been in the
just think they was on the
conversation with
field too much.
Texans and Broncos, bro. I don't think they should have been in the conversation, bro.
I don't know about that.
They shouldn't have been in that conversation, bro.
Right.
Nah,
But
think
now,
they got enough
their
chess pieces.
biggest downfall was not themselves. It was the offense for sure. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's hard to say that they were overrated when you're getting left out for dry every game. I mean, but hey, I guess. But it's in terms of the Patriots run specifically though, it is impressive because they have beaten 3 top 10 scoring defenses and top 10 units in the league. So I mean, regardless of how we feel about him, Drake May and his play, I mean, like I said last
It
episode,
ain't cost them so
you said
far.
you said what?
I said it hasn't cost them so far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So regardless of how we feel about his play, like I said the last time we spoke about this, he's making plays when they need him most. He is. I mean, I know the numbers not pretty at the end of these games, but when they need first downs, he seems to always get them, whether he's running for it or whether he's making a timely pass. And pretty much the defense gets timely stops as well. So, I mean, at some point, I think that does catch up to you. But right now, it hasn't. So I got to give credit when it's due for them. But I
Sound
want
like a Jalen Hurts situation.
I mean, hey. But hey, so I want to speak on the offensive weaponry now in terms of running backs, receivers. So we got, as we all know, we got Kenneth Walker, we got Charbonnet, we got JSN, who just came off one of the better seasons we ever seen from a receiver. Rashid Shaheed. You know, they got some guys over there, pretty good tight ends. And you got the Patriots on the long side with Austin Hooper, Hunter Henry, and these guys. Stephon Diggs is showing that he still got something left in the tank. Ramondre Stevenson picked it up, you know, to end the season. He's played pretty solid in the playoffs. So he's been all right. But Trayvon Henderson really hasn't shown anything. So in
He
terms of
almost had 1,000 rushing yards.
you said I'm talking about in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
So let me start with you, Mike. What you think, man? Who you think has the edge when it comes to the skilled offensive positions?
It's definitely Seattle just because you got. I don't know if Charbonnet healthy. Is he back out of concussion protocol or no? I don't know, but you still got JSN, Cooper Cup. You got 3 tight ends that make contributions. You got, the bookend tackles that's decent. So I think definitely them for sure. Like Cooper Cup's been in the Super Bowl, won Super Bowl MVP already, so he knows what this game is like and what has to be done to win it. You got JSN, like you said, a historic offensive receiver season. So I think Shaheed been going crazy in the playoffs. So I would definitely say Seattle for sure. I don't think it's that close to be honest. And this is, I mean, as a I'm a Stephon Diggs fan. It's been my favorite receiver for a long time, but Diggs alone ain't gonna get it done. So yeah.
Okay. What you got, Bruce?
Yeah, man, it's definitely Seattle. Hey, Mike, I thought Charbonnet had like a partially torn ACL or something. He's not gonna play in the Super Bowl.
I
He
thought it was a
done.
concussion.
Nah, it was a partially torn ACL. He done.
Oh shit! Well then, yeah.
Um, yeah, just for the reasons that Mike stated, I think their offense is just like the better, more flowing unit, and it's more talented. I think their depth also is a little more deeper than the Patriots. Um, and like Mike said, I don't think that Stephon Diggs by itself is going to be enough to overcome, not only the defense of the Seahawks, but as well as the offensive output that they have. They do have an offensive player of the year candidate in JSN. I do think he'll be contained this game, not because, he won't be able to go out there and put up like 200 yards and 15 receptions, nothing like that. But I just think Mike Vrabel is smart enough to, actually say, you know what, Cooper Kupp, you're going to have to beat me. Rashid Shaheed, you're going to have to beat me. He's not going to let JSN go out there. I think he's going to, one-on-one with Gonzo and even bracket him from time to time. But I think with the depth that they have with Cooper Kupp, with Shaheed, they got the edge over the Patriots as an offensive unit.
Okay. I for sure think it's the Seahawks. And even with Charbonnet being hurt, I mean, I think the Seahawks got that pretty comfortably because at the end of the day, you have a receiver in JSN who's proven to be one of the better receivers in this league, if not this past season was the best receiver in the league. You have a guy in Rashid Shaheed who can take the top off a defense any given play. To me, you always have to game plan and prepare for that. So to have that kind of edge with the guys alongside the tight ends they have to help take the middle of the field and move the chains and occupy space like that, to me, that does a lot for your quarterback and his confidence in play. So I'm going to get an edge to the Seahawks for sure. And I just think Kenneth Walker can still play. I know he doesn't get the opportunities because Charbonnet does take a lot of carries from him. But to me, this is a guy that can actually, when given opportunity, can make things happen. So I'm going to go with Seahawks in terms of the edge on the offensive prowess and talent. But I want to move off into the offensive line and that side for both sides and who y'all think has the edge there. I mean, the Patriots line has struggled, but they have invested a lot of money and a lot of draft picks in that line. So what y'all got?
I'm definitely thinking the Seahawks line. The Patriots line, it's a solid unit, but they have been very inconsistent. Will Campbell being a rookie, he's had his ups and downs, which honestly I can't blame him because he is going against a lot of damn good edge rushers.
Tough, man, when you're going against the best.
Yeah, he's going against some damn good edge
all
rushers.
pros lining up against you. It's tough.
Which I can't blame him. Like it's even if it wasn't just him going against these studs at the defensive tackle, defensive line position. He's a rookie. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be growing pains. But I think the Seahawks have a more solidified unit. I think they're a little better run blocking than the Patriots, even though numbers might show somewhat similarities in production. I think based off the eye test, the Seahawks have the better run blocking offensive line. Pass protection, I'm gonna edge a little towards the Seahawks, just because in these playoffs, the pass protection has been a little in. But also it's because they're playing elite defenses, so you can take it with a grain of salt. But overall, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
Okay, what you got, Mike?
It's easily the Seahawks. The Patriots' offensive line been getting their ass kicked all playoffs so far, which is lending itself to why Drake ain't been able to play as good. So it's definitely the Seahawks. Like you said, Will Campbell is top 5 pick, but going through growing pains, and I don't see it getting that much easier this game. I mean, the Seahawks' edges aren't like the greatest edges, but that interior is tough with Williams and Murphy. So they're going to have their hands full for sure. So I'll say Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, that's for sure true with the interior. Leonard Williams, man, I mean, it's like he's getting better with age. I don't know what it is, but
He got the fuck out of New York. That's what it is. Both teams.
Oh yeah, for sure. We
Yeah,
all
Lawrence, man.
know what New York is. It's like I said this before, man. It's certain franchises that are just meant to be bad. They're just meant to be bad. But let me say this about the offensive line matches. I think this is a closer matchup than the numbers will indicate because, like I said, the Patriots have been given the short end of the stick, man, when it comes to these units, man. I mean, you got Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson, you feel me, coming to town. It's going to be a long day for any tackle duo. It's going to be a long afternoon. So it doesn't, I understand it's not an excuse. You still have to perform. But it's like, man, it's tough. It's tough. Especially when you're out there on the island getting no help. It's tough. And then you turn around, you got the Broncos, who is the number 1 sack defense in the league. So it's like, again, it's tough. I don't think you're coming into this game against Nick Bonito and those guys. I don't think you got Will Anderson lining up against you. You got DeMarcus Lawrence and you got some other solid players. That's what you got. So I expect Will Campbell to be better. I don't think he's gonna look like an all-pro out there, but I think he will be better. But for me, I think the Seahawks get the edge slightly because I do agree with Breeze. I think they are the better run-blocking offensive line. I think they get out in the space a little better. I think they're slightly more aggressive in terms of them creating lanes that are more, I guess, more concisive. But for me, it is close, though. I think both units are pretty solid units. I just think one of them have had the unfortunate circumstance of running into some of the better front sevens we have in the league today. So,
hey, congratulations, Myles Garrett, DPOY.
That was a no-brainer for sure.
Yeah.
Should have got more MVP votes.
For real, man. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. If JJ Watt ain't win it, nobody winning it, bro.
Fair enough.
JJ was out there playing offense and defense and special teams. Man, if he ain't winning, bro, I don't see a defensive player winning it.
What you talking about?
Nah, I said shout out Myles Garrett for winning DPOY, and Mike said he should have got MVP votes.
Nah, not with no record like that. If
JJ ain't winning,
but a MVP not winning, you're not winning MVP to losing.
I said he should have got more votes. I didn't say he should have won.
He's not getting. That's the thing. He's not getting.
Hey, is it the most valuable player or is it your record? Because which one is it?
Like I said, bro, if JJ ain't win it, nobody.
Because realistically speaking, if he don't play on that team, they go 0 for 16 again. So 17, my bad. So.
Hey man, congrats to Myles Garrett, best in the business right now. And like I said before, man, he gonna be at a lot of conversations. A lot of people not ready to have because
who the people?
Some people, man, you know how old heads is.
I'm about to say, man, they better get their drunk ass.
Niggas gonna bring up Mean Joe Green or some shit.
Yeah, I'm about to say, old heads don't be wanting to move off them goalposts for certain players, man.
Niggas gonna go back all the way to 1870. Y'all don't know about Elvis.
You don't know about Satchel Harrison, boy. That was a bad motherfucker, boy. He had 100 sacks before they started keeping track of sacks, bro.
Y'all young boys don't know this man here. He took a picture with Martin Luther King. Get the fuck, man. We know I ain't trying to hear that, man.
We didn't have gloves. That's
how they be signing too, for real, bro.
We used to just tape our fingers. We didn't have all these gloves and all this soap.
Hey, bro, concussion. Man, I done got 35 concussion. I went out there and put up 700 yards.
I own a car dealership right now, goddammit. I'm fine.
That ain't no flex. No wonder your left leg don't work. You tripping, man.
Nigga got Parkinson's talking about something, but I was a bad motherfucker though. Like, come on, bro.
Crazy. Yeah, you living bad now.
They'll be moving off certain players, boy. But I know for a fact Myles Garrett gonna be in them conversations, man, as one of the 5 best edge rushers this game has ever seen. But excuse me. Let's move off into the defensive side of the ball, though, man. I want to talk secondary. Both these teams got good secondaries. You know, Breeze brought it up early with Gonzo. Gonzo, in my opinion, is one of the 5 best corners in the league. You can make an argument that he really top 3. But excuse me. But then you have the Seahawks turnaround. You got Spoon. You got Wolin. They got my boy, the rookie. What's his name? How you say his name? Emiori, yeah, man, playing good ball.
He's not playing. I don't think though.
He not playing.
They said he might not play. I think he got an ankle injury in practice or something.
Huge loss if he don't play. But
yeah, to me, yeah, for sure.
They got a good secondary. They got a good safety player. You know, so who y'all giving that edge to, man?
I'm gonna go New England for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with the Patriots, man. I'm really gonna rock with the Patriots. I don't really think it's much of a debate on why, but I just think as a cohesive unit, they really got it going, bro. And Seattle, I think Seattle's front 7 plays a huge factor into why their DBs look really that good. I don't think if they didn't have that dominant of a front 7, the DBs would look as good as they did. But we've seen Gonzo even before the Patriots loaded up. He was out there clamping. He was looking good, even with a shitty unit. I'm gonna go with the Patriots, but because the Seahawks have that monster front seven, I'm gonna go with the Patriots slightly, just because I can't count out the production of the front seven. That makes it a little easier on the back end. So I'm gonna slightly go with the Patriots, bro.
Yeah, the Seahawks front seven hasn't, well, the front four, because they're not that big of a blitzing team, but they haven't really gotten to the quarterback that much these playoffs. So whatever, you take that with a grain of salt. But what you got, Mike? Oh, he gone. So for me, I'm gonna go to the Seahawks, man. I think just as a collective unit, I think they have a little bit more. I think they have a little bit more versatility. But that's if the dude Emmanuel, if he plays. If he doesn't play, I got the Patriots. But I'm gonna say them under the assumption that I believe. But if he's not playing, I'll say the Pats. But the Seahawks got versatility in their secondary, man. They got a lot of guys that can come down in the box, tackle well. They got guys who can play on the outside, inside, no spoon. One of the, if not the best, slot corner in the league we have today. If how you feel about him and Cooper DeJean, but I think Tariq Woolen can play. They got guys, Kobe Bryant. I mean, he's solid, but they have guys who tackle well. They get to the ball. They're all, in my personal opinion, they all play really good technique. It's just a matter of them being in position. And there's only one team that's pretty much diced them up in terms of their secondary, and that's really been the Rams. Everyone else has struggled greatly against that team. So I'm gonna end.
Shout out my Colts, man. Don't sleep on my Colts, man.
Man,
Hey, don't sleep on my Colts, man. Oh man, Phil.
Man, Phillip Rivers had, I guess you could say he had a good game for real. But nah. But listen, man, the Seahawks got it for me, man. I think that unit is nasty, bro. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not shocked by the Patriots pick, because like I told you, I think Gonzo one of the three best corners in the league, personally speaking. I think he's undoubtedly top 5.
Hey, didn't he have a concussion against the Broncos?
Nah, that was the game before.
Oh, okay.
But he ended up playing against the Broncos. But he one of the better corners in the league. Carlton Davis has been good this playoff run. We'll see if that continues, because he did struggle a lot in the regular season. He was the most penalized corner in the league. But we'll see if he continues his hot streak. So we're going to see, man. I know Marcus Jones is pretty okay at the slot, but he ain't no one to write home about. But let's get off into the front seven, man. To me, this is where it gets interesting, because both of these front seven units are pretty damn good. So I'm going to start with you, Breeze. Who you got giving the edge to the front sevens?
Seahawks, honestly. I'm gonna go to Seahawks because I think their unit has the perfect balance of depth, youth, and experience. I think DeMarcus Lawrence coming from Dallas in his first year, everybody thought, because of what was going on in Dallas, a lot of people thought that he couldn't contribute at a high level because of the way things were looking in Dallas. I guess they thought, hey, if you got Micah Parsons and you can't take this to the next level, you're done. But he's shown to be a leader. If I'm not mistaken, is he running green dot?
Yeah.
So yeah, like, bro, he's coming, bro. He's literally the anchor, bro. So I think that perfect mix that they have, because that's when you're at your best, when you have veteran leadership and you have youth and you also have experience. So I think the Seahawks front seven takes it, but I'm not mad at anybody that says the Patriots, because Milton Williams has been a stud for the Patriots. But I'm gonna lean towards the Seahawks, bro, just because they have that perfect balance in that front seven.
Okay, what you got, Mike?
I'm gonna go Seahawks too. Like I mentioned, them 2 interior tackles earlier. Plus, you got experience with DeMarcus Lawrence. I like Ernest Jones at the linebacker spot. I know he ain't like a household name, but he's solid. He's always where he's supposed to be. Does force turnovers as well. Tall, got a nice range on him. So I think they got the better front seven overall. Patriots linebackers are cool. Like Spillane's cool, but they don't really have too much else. Like they not killing you like that up front. Like it's a collective effort. Like it's more so coaches putting them in spots versus players just winning outright matchups. In my opinion, when I watch them play, so I would say that.
Okay. So for me, man, I'm gonna go with the Patriots slightly because, personally speaking, I like the Patriots front four a little better. I think Harold Landry, Milton Williams, Baymore, Kayvon Chason. I believe these guys are playing at this point, especially in the playoffs. I think they're playing better than what the Seahawks front four has been playing at this point. I do think the Seahawks have a better linebacker core, but I'm not moved by anyone to the point it's going to make a difference in terms of their unit just being that much significantly better. Because I think Robert Spillane is one of the better linebackers in the league, and I just think he gets a bad rep because he's been in bad teams. I think if he didn't play for the Raiders and the Giants, I think he's a guy that will be more of a household name. But it's because you play for some of the worst teams in the league, you're not going to get that, you know, public recognition that you probably do deserve. But I think that front four is damn good. Like how you just alluded to Milton Williams. Milton Williams, I think a lot of people forget, was one of the most, if not the most sought after free agent this past season. Harold Landry, to me, has always been a pretty solid edge rusher coming off the edge. Kevon Chason has picked it up a lot this season, and Baymore has picked it up a lot. So I'm going to get an edge to the Patriots, man. I think they got it slightly, but that's another close matchup, in my opinion.
Man, T always with the technical difficulties, man. But
Nah, my bad. I was just had to clear my throat. But anyway, so let's speak on the last thing, and that's of course special teams before we give a score prediction. So special team units, neither group causes their respective teams games. At least they haven't to this point. But who you think has the edge? Because we have to take in the fact that you have a rookie kicker for the Patriots
and regardless,
is in the league, and Jason Myers with the Seahawks.
I'm gonna go Seattle, bro. Honestly, because Shaheed, he's a lot on time on punt return, and has shown he's a house call waiting to happen. I'm not saying the Patriots don't have depth at the punt return position, but I know for a fact Shaheed is good for a damn good return at least once or twice a game, maybe a house call. Jason Myers is a seasoned vet. I thought his leg was pretty shaky coming into the season. Preseason he was having ups and downs, but he picked it up as veterans do. They don't really practice too much in the preseason or anything. They kind of go with the game to kind of get in game shape. I've seen Borregales kind of, I wouldn't say crumble, but I've seen him when expectations were there for him to win the game. I've seen him shake. I've seen him, kind of fold, bro. Like in that Broncos game, I think he missed 3 field goals, right? I think it was two or three, if I'm not mistaken.
He missed 2.
Yeah, and Will Lutz missed a couple as well. But yeah, that game, if they would have lost that game, it would have easily came down to those kicks. So I haven't seen anything, from Jason Myers to, have me worried or anything. So I do think the kickers will play a big factor in this game because honestly, I think with the game being, so much on the line, I don't see any team gonna constantly go for it on 4th down unless it's like a 21-point deficit or something like that. So I think I got more trust in Jason Myers and Raheed Shaheed as well as Seattle's punt unit versus New England's just because of experience and personnel.
Right. I agree with you completely. I think the experience, the personnel, I think all of that edges towards the Seahawks undeniably. I mean, Jason Myers, like how you just said, they've had him for a long time. He's seen a lot of kicks. He's been in a lot of moments. So this is a guy who's not new to this. He's a guy who's going to come in and be cool, calm, and collective. You feel me? As far as the Patriots go, I mean, again, you have a rookie. You just don't know. Butterflies, jitters, whatever the case may be. You have a guy who the moment may get too big. You just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being the case, I think the return game is going to be somewhat relative because I think Trayvon Henderson could give you that home run threat as well in the punt return and kick return game, as he has shown throughout this season when he does get those opportunities. But the difference comes down to these kickers, man. And I just think the Seahawks just have a clear edge at kicker with Jason Myers. If it comes down to the game need to be forced in overtime or won by a field goal, you're trusting Jason Myers well before Voorhees. But with all that being said, man, it's time, Breeze. You got to give a score prediction. You got to give the reasons why you make that prediction.
Okay.
So, with everything we said to this point, I'm going to ask you, my boy, who do you think will be this year's Super Bowl champion?
I'm gonna go. I'm going Patriots.
Mm.
And honestly, I'm thinking low scoring game. I think it's going to be a defensive masterclass, honestly. I'm thinking 13-10 Patriots. I don't think it's going to be a Rams Seahawks situation or a shootout or anything like that. I think we're going to see some very good defensive football. I think we're going to see a lot of exotic coverages. We're going to see a bunch of stunts, a bunch of corner blitzes. I think we're going to see some linebacker blitzes. I think we're going to see some DNs dropping coverage just to shake things up on both sides. I think maybe a special teams touchdown or unforced error on defense touchdown would occur. And I think it's going to be like a 13-10 game. It's going to come down to a field goal. I'm not expecting fireworks or anything like that, honestly. Last time I expected fireworks was when the Rams played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and we saw how that turned out, bro. So I'm gonna go 13-10 New England. I think maybe a moment gets big and Sam Darnold has like a costly fumble or a costly pick, and the Patriots take a knee and ice it with a field goal, bro.
Okay. I think for me, man, I'm going Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are just clearly the better team. I mean, I'm not saying that in terms of the Patriots don't have talent. I just think the Seahawks are so much undeniably better in certain aspects of the game. I think the offensive weaponry is just better. I think the offensive line is at this point just better. They've performed better, even though I do think the Patriots just have had the unfortunate circumstance of running into some of the better units in the league. But I think the Seahawks line is better. I think Sam Darnold at this point is just as good, if not playing better, than what Drake May is right now.
Oh, for
And
sure.
sometimes you got to ride the hot hand. And I think the hot hand with Sam Darnold is way more trustworthy than what Drake May is. Because if this would have been a veteran quarterback coming in for the Patriots, I would understand the pick. But I just don't know what Drake May is going to give me, man. I mean, he's been stellar all season, and he gets to the playoffs. He's just not been good. Outside of one half of football, he hasn't been good. So you're going up against, yet again, another top unit in this league. It's going to be a long night, I think. And I think this game could end up being a 20-10, 20-13 kind of score. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I do think the Seahawks control this game pretty much for the entirety of the game. And I think they do end up winning. And I think Sam Darnold and Mike McDonald get their first championship. But
Fair enough. So if they do win a Super Bowl, where you putting Sam Darnold as far as top 5 quarterbacks in the league? Because you know that conversation gonna come up.
But he not gonna be top 5.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it so much, bro. Because the first thing, as soon as a nigga win.
No, bro. Listen, it's just recency and winner bias, man. We know how that goes. They did it with Jalen Hurts. Everyone thought Jalen Hurts was top 5. Nah, I never thought it. I still don't. I always told people I don't think Jalen Hurts is better than Dak, and a lot of people thought I was crazy. Now look, we're in the same conversations. Like he's still not that much better than Dak. They're the same tier quarterback.
Don't forget, people did it with Jaden Daniels, that rookie Cinderella run.
Yeah, they did with CJ Stroud too. I mean, that's what people do. They're the recency bias, man. I mean, listen, I like CJ Stroud. I'm a CJ Stroud guy, but people was telling me C.J. Stroud was a top 5 quarterback after that rookie season. I'm like, how the hell are we doing that already?
Maybe a top 5 rookie quarterback, but I don't know about no top 5, man.
If Sam Darnold wins this, I will say this though. I will say this: if Sam Darnold wins this ring, to me, it proves yet again, even if he doesn't win the ring, because I told y'all this before. I personally believe there's a real quarterback development problem in the NFL. I think that's a real problem. I think people are too impatient with quarterbacks. Don't get me wrong. Some of these guys can't play. There's no denying that. Some of these guys can't play, and they're not the players we thought they would be. But I do believe a lot of quarterbacks are giving up on just as much as they are bad. And Sam Darnold, if he goes out and wins this ring, it is going to make the Jets and the Vikings look horrendously bad, because the Vikings gave up a quarterback who a year removed from you is in the Super Bowl and wins it, on top of the Jets making Sam Darnold look like an absolute disaster at the quarterback position after you invested so much in him. So if those things happen, it would show, in my opinion, that there is a legitimate quarterback development issue in the league. I truly believe there is one.
Bro, I gotta think, like, bro, I can see if this was maybe, if this happened, if this scenario would have happened when Sam Darnold left the Jets and went to the Panthers, then I'm not saying that the Panthers are the best at development either, but like I said, bro, I just think it was just too many stops in between for it to just be, blamed on one specific type of development problem. You get me? Like, I can see if he went from one situation and then flourished into the next, then I can agree with you on that. But for him to go from New York to Carolina, then you hit San Fran with Kyle Shanahan, who we all agree is a damn good quarterback whisperer. Then you go with Kevin O'Connell, who we agree is a damn good quarterback whisperer. And, as a finished product there, then you go to a unit with a still wide receiver 1, a wide receiver 2 who can still be a wide receiver 1 in certain scenarios. You got 2 solid running backs. You got a good O-line. You got solid tight ends. You got a damn good defense. Like I said, I think if it was just like, if he went to Seattle after he left maybe New York or after he left Carolina, then yeah. But I just think the many stops that he had a chance to learn and trial and error and get it together. Because remember, we were saying the same thing about Baker. You remember when he left Cleveland and he went to Carolina, then he went to LA with McVay, and then he hit Tampa, and then he revitalized his career, bro. I just think if it was just like Jets and then Seahawks, and then he just took that ride to the Super Bowl, then yeah. But all the stops in between, I think, played a pivotal role in his development.
Yeah, for sure. I 100% agree with that. But that's my point, though. It played a role in his development. There's a quarterback development issue. And the reason I said that is because of this, right? Look who we just named. We named who did these guys go to before they went to these teams that got successful? Sam Darnold came from a Kevin O'Connell system that many people believe is probably the most quarterback-friendly system in the league. A lot of people believe that. And then you top that off of him going from Kyle Shanahan to that. So you have a guy who was in 2 systems that literally prides itself on getting the absolute best out of their quarterback. So that's naturally going to rub off on the guy who already has seen multiple coverages and played on multiple teams. Mm-hmm. And then you talk about Baker. Baker went from the Panthers, he wasn't playing good ball at all, to now he went to the Rams. 1 year off from the Rams, he goes to the Bucks, and he earns himself a $100 million contract. I'm not saying those guys, McVay, O'Connell, Shanahan, these guys, they're solely responsible for these guys being successful, but they definitely played a huge role in it. And all I'm saying, these quarterbacks, right, if giving the opportunity, I think more often than not, these guys would be good than it would be bad. I just think if you give them opportunity to actually grow and learn in a system that's beneficial to them and their game, I think you will get more out of the player than you wouldn't. I just don't believe a lot of these quarterbacks that are failing. I mean, hell, even look at Malik Willis. Malik Willis is set right now to make $100 million+ this offseason. And people in Tennessee thought he was unplayable. They thought he was unplayable. He goes to Green Bay. He's a backup, plays in a few games, and he looks damn good. It's to me, it shows
That's a situation I think you could have used as an example because he went from night to day. So I agree with you on that one. I definitely agree.
So to me, it's a quarterback development problem. Like you have guys who have talent and they're just not being utilized to their strengths. And when they get to these situations that utilizes these strengths, they look a lot better. I think that just shows that it's more coaching than what people want to give it credit for.
Yeah, I think it's also the expectation as well. Because think about it, when Malik Willis got drafted, even though he came out of Liberty University, which is still the Division I, but when you think about NFL pipelines, you're not really thinking about Liberty. But he got drafted into a situation where they expecting him to instantly come in and turn the franchise around. So much so that did Will Levis get drafted before or after him?
No, Will Levis got drafted after.
Yeah, then they went and got Will Levis, which I'm not a Will Levis guy, but Will Levis, for what it's worth, he has the arm strength, he has the athleticism. When I think of Will Levis, I think he could be a Bo Nix type of guy if he gets the right coaching on him. I just think all his attributes, everything is there, but I do think he's in his own head a lot. You can see sometimes the decision making isn't clear. Like a lot of things, like the game needs to be slowed down for him. So I do think he needs like a Sean Payton type coach, a good type of coach. But you can see there in Tennessee, the expectation was just too much for him coming out. And even some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, expectations would have been too much for them as rookies. Like remember, Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years. Do we really think Aaron Rodgers coming out of Cal was a day one starter or pro ready automatically to change Green Bay? I really don't think he was at the moment. I think him sitting behind Brett Favre really gave him a chance to learn. When Malik Willis went to Green Bay with Matt LaFleur and you're sitting behind Jordan Love and you can learn and you can see Jordan Love sat for 3 years and it turned him into a very damn good quarterback because Jordan Love was a raw prospect. He had a strong arm. He fits the mold, but he needed to learn. And I think Malik Willis going to sit behind Jordan Love with a mind like Matt LaFleur, it benefited him a lot. So did the Titans do him a service? Obviously not, because they just stuck him in as a quarterback who's athletically gifted, because Malik Willis is a hell of an athlete, hell of an arm, can run. Decision making needs to be better from time to time. He does have I wouldn't say he has a poor man Lamar Jackson type of processing. Like Lamar can process really good. Malik Willis is like maybe 2 tiers under that, which you can fix that. You can fix the process and you can fix him with his vision and everything. But sometimes he does do some dumbass things, which he's a young quarterback. I expect it. But I agree with you, bro. All in all, I agree with you, man. It's definitely an issue, but I think more so it's the expectation more than the issue, because if we had more teams that had a vet quarterback, like if Michael Penix would have had maybe 2-3 years to sit behind Kirk Cousins.
It's crazy because they really could have did that with Michael Penix, and they did it. And
I think so. Like if they would have did that, maybe Penix could have healed up those injuries. Wouldn't have been more of a problem now. I think he would have been a much better processor, because even though Kirk Cousins is the career mid guy, Kirk Cousins is a serviceable quarterback. You can learn from him. Like the same way they did with what's this guy's name? I forgot this guy's name. He sat for a few seasons. I forgot. It slipped my mind. But yeah, man. Honestly, I do think it's the expectation too, bro. Because you come in as a young guy. The last young guy I seen come in and really be embraced, even though he failed, was Peyton Manning. Like Peyton Manning came in and he threw 30 picks, if you remember.
Yeah.
But they bought into him. They're like, you know what, this is our guy, this is our future. They would tell Peyton Manning, we don't even have a game plan without you, because if you fall, that's it. We're done. Like, you know what type of confidence that puts into a quarterback to say, you know what, win, lose, or draw, touchdown, or pick, they got my back. When you bring a rookie in and you're like, hey man, you're the answer. You're gonna turn life around here. And he goes out there and he has a game where he throws 2 picks. His confidence is shot. He's done, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that completely. It's a lot of times, like I said, man, it's a lot of times, don't get me wrong, a lot of these quarterbacks just can't play. I think someone like Josh Rosen just can't play. I think people like that, you look at it, you have to take what you have at face value at times. But it's other instances I just feel guys are not they're not put in the most ideal circumstances to where they can become the absolute best. And again, it's hard to say because it's hard to say which is which for all situations because we're not in the locker rooms, we're not at the practice facilities. We don't know these dudes personally. We will never really know. But it's been more players than people want to admit that has went to other situations and found success, whether it's winning football games or them just looking better as a player. Like, it's been situations where this happens far too many times to say and to realize that, yeah, there's a quarterback development issue around the league. But with all that being said, man, hey, that'll be it for the show tonight, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in once again. We did hit 50 people tonight viewing live. That is fantastic to see. I love to see it. I hope we keep growing. I hope y'all keep tuning in. If y'all love what y'all saw tonight, man, y'all be sure to hit the like, subscribe button on the channel. Hit that bell notification whenever we go live. Remember, I am on multiple platforms, man. LastWord Productions, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, I'm there. And if you're not aware already, we are doing a giveaway for my apparel. And we're giving away a signed basketball. So if you're looking into that or you're interested in that in any way, shape, or form, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, get in that raffle, and you DM me and let me know when you did it. But with all that being said, Breeze, you got anything else you want to add?
Hey, we appreciate y'all, man. Keep on tuning in. We're going to keep bringing that fire for y'all. LastWord Productions, Super Bowl this Sunday. Y'all enjoy. Y'all be safe, man. I'm out.
For sure. Appreciate you, my boy.
All right, bro.